Hey, I'm Hunt, and this is Hunt on LSU, your channel for LSU Fighting Tiger football talk. Enjoy the video. We want you to leave a comment below, hit that like button, and subscribe right below the video. Enjoy. You were able to go see the guys this morning, had some player interviews today that included Garrett Nussmeier. Look, he's following the Heisman Trophy winner. How's he handling that?
Really well, actually. I thought today he accounted himself quite nicely. Said all the right things, kind of conducted himself in a way that you want when it's a guy that's got some big shoes to fill, right? Basically, the theme, I guess, that he was putting out there was that last year's team was last year's team. This is this year's team. They need to find their identity. They need to find what works for them, and they can appreciate the past, but they're about raising the bar even higher with this year's team. So I think that's what they're shooting for. That's their goal, and that's how he's approaching it.
Did him waiting his turn come up? Or, that's something that I guess we've talked about a lot, but I don't know if he's talked about it a lot. Did that come up today?
I believe the phrase is "working your turn," Hunt. That's
okay.
What the kids these days are saying.
Great.
Yeah. No, it didn't, actually. No, it did not. We talked about, obviously the differences in the offense and how things will look a little different this year with him at the helm. We talked about his athleticism, right, and how he's not going to be a 50-50 runner, as he used the phrase. And we talked about, just like his command of the team and how they're going about building that rapport now. But no, not really anything about waiting or why or any of that kind of stuff. I think we've covered that in the past. It was important for him to be in Louisiana and represent this team, and I think he also understood, that he had some self-improvement that he needed to make. And so I think now that it is his shot, I think he's very eager to show everybody that Jayden was great. I can be good too.
How big was the bowl game for him, do you think?
That is a good question. I honestly don't know. I think it was good that he and Joe could get together. I didn't ask him that question. That he and Joe could get together, get on the same page, and see how that works. He's very excited to have his OC be his quarterback's coach because, as he told us, they have a great rapport, and they have, Joe listens to him. I think was what I took away from that. Like, he felt like he was appreciated and valued, and that his opinions mattered. And I think that's because of that direct contact that he has with Joe Sloan, and now the two of them working together going forward, they can continue to build that and really accentuate the positives of that relationship.
Look, it's spring. I know the intensity level drops down a little bit, and y'all aren't out there for all of practices, so you may not even have an answer to this question. But I do remember the Garrett Nussmeier of 2 years ago when he was a freshman in fall practice, and we were able to watch a lot. He was incredibly jubilant and energetic and running around and patting guys on the head and yelling and all that kind of stuff. Is he still that as kind of the man now, or is it a little bit more subdued?
I don't know. I don't see it so far in the practices, but in complete transparency, we get to see about 25 minutes.
Right.
So I've seen a total of 50. I think you really got to see a little bit more, in those other practices. And we'll get to watch a full practice on Saturday, so that will be interesting. But I do see a little bit more maturity to him, right? We always talk about gunslinger Nuss, and like that kind of thing. I sense that he's grown up a little bit. Now, play on the field is going to dictate that, and that's live bullets, and we won't know that till the fall. But I sensed a great deal of maturity and a great deal of ownership, and that like he takes what he has seriously. Like there was a seriousness to him, and that's not different from the past. I just think it's more pronounced now that he is the man.
Who's he going to throw it to?
I mean, they've got the same guys out there. I'm waiting for CJ Daniels. I think he really looks the part. Just when you look at the guys out there, I really like what he's doing. I was hoping Shelton Sampson was going to be a guy that kind of, climbed up the ladder, and that may still happen. Look, it's a long time between now and, September and October kind of thing. But right now, it's clearly Kyron. Chris Hilton really looks like he is emerging. So I think they've got enough weapons there. And here's what we did talk about a lot today that I can kind of steer you in a different direction. We talked to Mason Taylor. I think the tight ends are going to get a lot more work out of necessity, just because of that lack of running the ball all the time. I think you're going to see a little bit more 12 personnel. That's what Mason was talking about today. And just maybe the progress that Mac Markway and Kamorian Pimpton are making. I think you might see a little bit more of that. And that opens up, here's a great Brian Kelly phrase, right? I think he wants to attack on a wider plane or something, like a longer front, a wider front maybe. And I think he's talking about getting the tight ends involved when he says that, So that's something that I'm looking forward to.
I know y'all talked to Greg Penn as well on the defensive side of things. Anything of note from that conversation?
Yeah, we talked. I asked him, why Perk was going to work inside this time, and in a little bit of transparency, I think maybe he might have slipped up and let the cat out of the bag. Basically, it sounded like, at least from Greg's answer, that Harold's taking it a little bit more seriously. He said that they tried it some in the spring, but he said that Harold's taking it a little more seriously and kind of understands, I guess, maybe a little bit more of how to attack the position. And that's one of the things I asked Greg. I was like, I mean, are there inside tips really that you can give a guy like that so he's just not constantly caught in the wash? And, that registered with Greg. He's like, yes, it's something that Blake has been teaching him or, trying to get through to him. It's like, don't tussle with a 300-pound guy. Get out of that. Use your quickness to get away from those situations, and that's where you're going to make your plays. So that was interesting to hear. Everybody understands where the defense was last year. I don't know how much better position they're in, but I think a new voice is helping. That's the takeaway I got from Greg, is that just a new voice in the room maybe added a little bit more excitement to the educational process. And Greg did say this. He said, we're playing more and we're thinking less, which when you have athletes, that works, right? You got to get maybe a little bit better quality of athlete, and that can really make something special. But I think that's an evolution for the defense.
Trying to decode tweets from 18 to 20-year-olds is a dangerous game, but the tweets that we saw come out when Matt House was let go and the rest of the defensive staff was let go were a little eye-opening to me. Do you think there's a breath of fresh air in there now? Yeah.
Well, I mean, just listen to Greg, who was in that room, right? I mean, I feel like, and the interviews are up on our YouTube page. So is the practice video if you guys want to watch it, the WBRZ YouTube page. But you can decide for yourself. But yeah, I definitely caught that. I caught that pretty easily.
Did you sense it the other way when it was going on
when
last
it was
year?
happening?
Yeah,
to some degree, just with body language and the way the way that they were kind of interacting. But dude, when things go south, like everybody feels it. Like there's that palpable tension. And did I see it? Did I see it beforehand? No. I mean, but you can hear whispers and rumblings and things. And I think there's a little bit more connectivity that needs to happen with the football team, and it's a bigger picture issue that I think we're seeing in all of college football because of pay for play and what it's kind of evolved into. Like, you got to have guys in there for the right reasons. And that's hard to do in this college football landscape because you're getting a lot of one-hit wonders. You're buying the skill set to some degree. So the buy-in from the player and the reasons why they're playing might not necessarily always be there. I will say this: Garrett said that is one of the things that he appreciates about this team is everybody's commitment to doing it the right way. He even referenced all those questionnaires and pills and sleep studies that they have to do. He's like, you guys know about those from where we started those to where we are now. It's almost night and day. So, if that holds any water, then that bodes well for the productivity of this team come fall.
LSU back out on the practice field coming up on Thursday. One more before we get you out of here. How do you feel about the Lady Tigers draw coming up on Friday this weekend?
I mean, I don't think the first or second round is going to be an issue. I think it's when, you got to get past UCLA and then obviously Elite Eight matchup with Iowa. They didn't do LSU or Iowa any favors in that draw. So it'll be fun. Rice, I think LSU will probably blow their doors off. I'm expecting LSU to be able to sit some players some real minutes. I would be surprised if Poa plays in the opener on Friday, may get her some action on Sunday. I just think it's going to be one of those deals where if you can, you sit your stars as much as possible and really gear up for what is coming down the stretch.
Check him out on Channel 2 and, of course, the Channel 2 YouTube page, WBRZ. We got your interviews and practice footage up there as well. Michael, thanks for the time, man.
Good man, Hunt. Thanks.
Hey, thanks for watching Hunt on LSU. Before you get out of here, do us a couple of favors. Hit that like button, leave your comments below, and subscribe to the channel for all your Fighting Tiger football talk. See you next time.